Alright, so this Knife Thoughts video is going to be a quick look at the Cold Steel Mini Pal. And so as you can see, this is a very small knife. It has about a 1-inch blade, and it comes with a keychain style sheath. So it's a very, very small knife, but interestingly, it's a push knife. So that means that instead of holding it here, like this, like a normal knife, you actually put the handle between two fingers. I always think that it works better between the index and middle finger. Some people do between these two, but I think that it makes more sense up here. You put it between those and you can cut and still use your hand and stuff. Now, really, a push knife is probably more often thought of as a self-defense knife. And certainly, that's often what they are designed for. Interestingly, with this knife, first of all, it is a single-edge knife. So that kind of changes some of the, I guess, legality of it and things like that, as well as it is less clearly designed as a self-defense knife. Also, it has a serrated blade, and it's only about 1 inch. So they actually show in their advertising, Cold Steel's advertising, this knife being used. Of course, they do the usual, like, ridiculous stabbing meat, punching it a bunch of times with this in their hand and stuff. But they also do show cutting, rope and cardboard and things like that. And I've actually, used this already for some cardboard cutting and just kind of general utility cutting, and of course thankfully haven't had to use it for self-defense. So it is something where I probably will use this as a utility knife, but I think it could be used as a self-defense knife also. It's super easy to carry because it is so small. I have actually been carrying this on the zipper pull of a fanny pack that I carry around, and it carries well. It's not really in the way. It's nice and small. Now, one thing that I do want to say is that this SecureX sheath, which I actually typically like Cold Steel's SecureX sheaths. They're not Kydex. They're like an injection molded plastic, but they often work well. This one has gotten a little looser than I'm comfortable with in the couple weeks that I've had it and carried it. So I think that I will try to see if my friend who has Dark Star gear could make a better sheath for this. I do want to keep it a super low profile sheath like this so that it can be carried on a keychain or on a key pull, or I'm sorry, on a zipper pull. So, I just basically, how this sheath works is it's going to be hard to show you this, but there are two little like raised areas like here and here, and when you put the knife in, the two shoulders here push past those, and then those hold that in, and they just aren't really holding it in as tightly as I would like. So hopefully Dark Star Gear will be able to make a sheath that is Kydex, actual Kydex, and maybe comes up to here or something and holds it in a little bit better, and then I can just attach this key ring and clip thing to that sheath, and it'll do a little bit better. But kind of a cool little knife. I've been interested in these for a while just because I think I like mini knives. I have, the Micro Recon and from Cold Steel and some other mini knives like from GEC and stuff. So I think it's cool to see how much utility you can have in a very small knife like this. And I do think you could, cut cardboard, go back to what you're doing, cut some more cardboard. And also I think that, if this is something that's easy for you to carry, you'd probably rather be punched with by someone who doesn't have this in their hand when they're punching you than by someone who does. Yeah, it's very small. I think that it is definitely also, and maybe primarily for me, useful as a utility knife, but it also could be, pushed into a self-defense role, pun intended. So this is the Cold Steel Mini Pal. It is very small, but pretty cool, and something that I'm glad to have picked up, especially because being that Cold Steel was sold recently, who knows what the direction will be in the future and if they will continue making interesting out there little knives like these. So if you've enjoyed this video, check out my other videos and subscribe so that you see the other videos I have, and hit the bell so you get notified when I post new ones. Also check out my Instagram at Knife Thoughts and my website knifethoughts.com, where I post articles on knives like this and knife related topics. And last but not least, don't forget to go out and do good.